This is immigration attorney Parviz Malakuti, and one question that I see come up all the time in immigration is from people who have completed their immigration application, they've submitted it, they made a mistake, and they want to know, can they change their mistake on an application that's already been submitted to USCIS? And secondly, how late in the process can they change that mistake? Good questions, both of them. They happen all the time. I'm going to answer them in this video. So first of all, the answer is yes. If you are completing an application with USCIS, let's say an adjustment of status or a naturalization application, you can change a mistake if you've made it, okay? You get a few opportunities during the process to change the mistake. One, it can be, for example, if you get a request for evidence from USCIS or even a notice of intent to deny. That means that USCIS may have noticed that something isn't quite right in the application you sent. Maybe that's related to the mistake you made, and in your response to USCIS, you can correct that mistake, okay? So what you can do is basically, you can write a document, a declaration to them, changing the mistake, saying, hey, this is what I answered on the form, the page, the question number, and this is what the answer should have been, okay? That's one way of doing it. Now, for immigration processes, adjustment of status or naturalization that result in an interview, or usually result in an interview at the end, usually you can actually make a change to your application all the way up until the point of the interview. And this happens all the time. And usually if you're with a seasoned USCIS officer, they'll give you the opportunity to make changes, okay? But even if they don't ask you explicitly and you find yourself in that interview, you should go into the interview with the list of the items that you need to make changes on, okay? And you should tell that USCIS officer as soon as possible, bring it on the radar, hey, there's a few small things that I'd like to change on the application, okay? Should we do that now or can we do that later, okay? Make that change at the interview. Now, one thing that's really important to know is that there's two different categories of mistake, okay? One is a category of a completely harmless mistake, something that really doesn't have to do with your eligibility for the immigration benefit. This could be, for example, a spelling mistake or a change in a date, okay, of where you lived or where you were employed, something that doesn't have to do with your eligibility for the immigration benefit. Those are not a big deal. Those are changed all the time. The second category of mistake that you might have to change is something that a piece of information that might have to do with your eligibility for the immigration benefit. With this second category of mistake, you want to be very, very careful, okay? Because now you're changing something on the application that in the eyes of the USCIS adjudicator or the interviewing officer could change your eligibility for the benefit, meaning that it could make you, in their eyes, no longer eligible for the benefit. Now, for the second category of mistake, you definitely want to make sure that you talk to a lawyer at least, okay? If not, actually hire a lawyer to either represent you to make the change or to represent you in the interview if it's the immigration application that results in an interview at the end, okay? With the first type of mistake, you know, a spelling mistake, you know, a change in an address, something like that, oftentimes that's not going to be a big deal. That's not going to be something that you necessarily need a lawyer for. If you're really unsure about whether the mistake is something that's material to your application or not, go ahead and hire an immigration attorney or at least get a consultation, okay? So that's it for this video. I hope this helps. I am a licensed immigration attorney. I'm licensed in California. If you want to contact my office for a consultation, you can email us at info@malakutilaw.com or you can sign up on the booking link below. Anyway, I hope that helps. Stay safe and good luck.